anchor for you as you go through this session. So whenever I'm speaking, just reflect on that worthiness, reflect on that surrenders, reflect on that healing. And my word for today is openness. It's just to be really open to spirit. I have a couple of notes in front of me. This morning I was listening to Byron Katie's audiobook. It's called The Thousand Names for Joy, and it's a very powerful audiobook. And funny enough, this is how spirit works. We're always so taken care of. It's incredible. I've listened to this audiobook like at least 12 times. Today I was walking and the part, I just put it on and it's always on. So it just was on this part of the book, ironically enough, on, give me 1 second. One moment. Oh yeah, I think I just kicked that, but it's all good. All right. I was walking and I was listening, and it was all about abundance. And she starts talking about abundance on and on and on and on. And all I can do is like, oh my God, this is just like blowing up my mind, because that's what we're going to talk about today. And the way that she was talking about abundance was so intertwined with A Course in Miracles. I was like, oh my God, I can't take it. I can't take it. This is just too much of a synchronicity. And as she was talking, I was writing notes, and I was so inspired by what she was saying, that this whole class has completely changed. It is just so powerful what I heard her say. I've also been listening a lot to Dr. Wayne Dyer, which he's such an excellent teacher this past week. So my talk will be influenced about his teaching as well. But she said a lot of things. So I'm going to talk about that today as well. And I'll be reading from the notes I took from her talk. And I'll also be giving it my twist and also my perception from the Course in Miracles way, from, the angle of the Course in Miracles. And yeah, it's really, really powerful. So with that being said, welcome everyone. Thank you for being here. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can just go ahead and put that on the chat as we are going along in the class. So first things first is, how are you? How are you doing? What's going on? You can write that on the chat, and just anything you might want to share, that maybe why you're here, or what called you to be in the class today, or how are you feeling about being in the membership program, etc. So you can go ahead and put that on the chat while I take a drink of water, and then we will officially begin. So the first thing that's coming to mind to discuss or to share is about your eternal self. And that's a word that came up for me right before the session. I hadn't heard it in the talks this morning that I was listening to. It's just something that I felt I was so guided to share, which is one of the ways to listen to our inner wisdom and to recognize our infinite abundance is by recognizing our eternal self. Our eternal self meaning the part of us that is not attached to things. Our eternal self is that wholeness, that completeness. Our eternal self is that divine love, is that connection to God. Our eternal self has no judgments. Our eternal self is whole and complete. Innocence, right? Worthiness, right? Edie has, her word is worthiness. Like in our eternal self, we're so worthy. We're so complete. We're so whole. We're so in alignment to God. We are so in Jesus, right? We're so in Jesus. We're so in that. And what the good news is that our eternal self is in everyone and everything. That eternal self is love. That light is in everything and everyone. And when we recognize more of our eternal self, that part of us that can be heard, that part of us that's fearless, that part of us that's pure abundance, that part of us that is that intelligence, we begin to feel very abundant naturally. Not only that, when we are in that eternal self, and continue to wake up within that eternal self, have that self-actualization, we begin to listen more to the Holy Spirit. We're able to just follow that guidance. It's a natural thing. It's a natural result of living more in our true nature. Now, are you going to live in your eternal self, every day out of 10? No, it's the duality part of it, right? We're in a dual world. So it appears we're in a dual world. So it doesn't appear that we can experience our eternal self consistently. But our real job, even more than the job we think we have in form, our real job is to practice every day to live within that eternal self, to be an expression of that eternal self, and to have that willingness to allow Spirit to show you how you can live more in that true nature. And this is the first sentence I'll read to you that is powerful that I heard today in the audiobook, is the story that I need more money. Now, you can change the word money for anything in this whole talk. So anytime I say money, you can say I need a better relationship, or I need, to lose more weight, or I need to, have a child, or I need to be in a relationship, or whatever that is for you. So the story that I need more money, or I need to have a relationship, or I need to have more things, or I need to have more clothes, is what keeps us by recognizing our wealth. Again, when you are thinking, I need something outside to complete me, what happens is that's keeping us from recognizing our wealth. And what I mean by wealth is from recognizing our eternal self. It's actually robbing us from experiencing our true nature. Whenever you're saying that your needs are not met, you're living in the future. And that is just a story. So when you think you need more money, when you think you need something outside to complete you, you're actually projecting in the future, and you're starting to get scared about something in the future. There's no acceptance of reality. There's no acceptance of what is going on in the present moment, which when we have full acceptance of the present moment, abundance is there, freedom is there, fearlessness is there, because we're not creating any stories in our mind. So it says here, so that she also went on to say, right now, you're supposed to have the money you have right now, right? Right now, the relationship you have is the one you're supposed to have. Right now, where you're at in your life is supposed to be where you are, right? And then I'm adding words to it, right? And then it says here, how do I know when I'm supposed to have more than what I do, right? And then how do I know when I'm supposed to have less than what I do? Is because what we have in our bank accounts right now is what we're supposed to have, right? It's so freeing just to have full acceptance of what is. And I'm using money in the bank account as an example, right? So going on to your eternal self, it's like, and actually Dr. Wayne Dyer was talking about this on his talk on YouTube, and I'm going to actually post that on here, and I'll send you an email about it. He was talking about how when we are in the womb, those 9 months, everything is just happening. We're not saying, oh, I'm going to create my liver. Oh, I'm going to create my leg. Oh, I'm going to create my atoms, my molecules. Oh, I'm going to create my body. Those 9 months, things are just happening. Things are flowing. And this is just a metaphor, right? The child is being created within those 9 months. And then, which is that eternal self, that eternal nature, right? That things just, they come and they go, right? I think there's another thing here that says, every man, every woman, every child, every war, every destruction, you see companies open, you see companies close, you see money go up and go down on the stock market, right? Catastrophes happen. And when you understand that we're not dependent on that, life is always ever changing, right? So when we come into that body, what we do is we're like, okay, I'm going to take over from here now, is what he was saying, right? Oh, I'm going to go ahead and take over from here. I'm going to I'm going to start to dictate how this body's going to live.